Well, the world is this morning bracing for retaliation attacks after the United States bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran, with President Donald Trump claiming to have totally obliterated the facilities.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Iran has since responded, warning America will face everlasting consequences over this attack. The Iranian armed forces now claiming the war starts right now. For more, let's bring in Sunrise Foreign Editor, Dr. Keith Suter. Great to have you with us. So, very volatile situation at the moment. What happens next?
Well, we're waiting to see how Iran is going to react. Iran has a number of options. They're all pretty bad. You know, they could disrupt the shipping immediately off its coastline, which would also disrupt its own sale of oil to China. It could carry out more raids against the American bases. There are 20 bases approximately in the Middle East. They could start killing Americans. Now, that will certainly bring on a retaliation by the Americans. But then Donald Trump is trying to avoid having Americans dead in the Middle East. They may call on their proxies to kill Americans or Israelis wherever they happen to be around the world. So there are a number of things that Iran could do. They're just trying to work out. The options are all pretty bad for them. And of course, you know, they could even surrender. I think that's unlikely.
OK, so how do we know what's happened after this big bombing yesterday? I mean, Trump says it's blown to smithereens. It was a successful attack at this Fordo facility. Is there any proof? No,
there's not. And the military themselves are saying they've got to do their own damage assessment. So Trump has made this grand claim, but the military are saying, well, look, we've got to actually get into the details and see how much damage was actually done. So Trump is running ahead of the military.
How do they do that?
Well, no doubt they've got good intelligence operations that'll be able to assess it. One of the problems we're worried about is that the Iranians may actually have moved the critical uranium material out of those sites before the attack took place. So Iran may still be having that nuclear material, even though they've lost the mechanism for generating more stuff.
So, I mean, this attack over the last couple of days has been all about dismantling that nuclear ability of Iran. Will they come to the table now? Because Donald Trump keeps saying we want to negotiate peace here. Are they going to come to the table now after this?
Well, they would say we were at the table and the Israelis blew it up. That's the problem for Iran. How can they try to negotiate with the Americans if there's always this risk that they're going to get the attempt undermined? That's the problem, trying to negotiate. There has to be some sort of negotiated settlement of some sort or another. But looking long term, there will be continual problems because Israel has nuclear weapons and it's always going to be Arab or Iran wanting to equal and get those nuclear weapons. We saw that in 1981. When Israel had to attack a reactor in Iraq. We've seen it more recently in Syria, and now it's Iran. This is a perpetual struggle which is going to go on. And I think that Iran will just simply learn the lessons of North Korea. You withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, you cut off your links with the International Energy Agency, and you build the weapons in secret. And that way you then end up acquiring nuclear weapons, and as soon as you've got those weapons, you become untouchable. That's the lesson of North Korea.
So it just keeps pushing it further underground.
Exactly.
Oh. Thank you, Keith.